if you're into Eastern spirituality, non-duality, Advaita, that teaches that all things are one, that the ego is illusory, if you follow that kind of teaching, then you may have heard many times the idea that there's nothing to do, that we aren't the doer and there's nothing to do. And that's a confusing one, I think. For me, it has been very confusing over the years. And for a lot of people, I think it's confusing because on one level, it's like, yeah, I do have to do stuff. Otherwise, my bills don't get paid. My kids don't get food and clothes. I end up living on the street and I'm just sort of taking up space and oxygen. I'm not really contributing anything if I don't do something. So I want to point out it's kind of a subtle distinction, but it's such a powerful and important distinction with that idea, but with so many other ideas as well, so many other beliefs. I have to do something. What happens when I believe that thought? When I start my day with that idea, I have to do something today. I have to get my channel going. I have to get more people involved in my classes. I have to organize this workshop. I have to keep my blog going. I have to create merchandise, blah, blah, blah. There's so much I have to do. I have to do this stuff, right? There's so much I have to do. What happens when I become possessed by that belief, that thought? I become super tense. I become super task oriented, where I'm not really in the here and now. I'm not really that present in the moment. What I'm doing instead is projecting an image of a future that I have to rush off and get to. There's kind of a grouchy feeling, almost like a slave master cracking the whip on my own back. I shut down my feelings, my sensitivity, my heart, and I just get super focused on acting and completing actions one after the other. Is that really the kind of energy that I want to bring to a channel like this? This is all about being in touch with our inner being, being in touch with our heart, and connecting with our deeper nature and with other people and with the world. Is that the kind of energy that works with this kind of channel? And if you're on a spiritual path too, you might be in a similar dilemma. I'm just using me as an example, but I know there's a lot of you out there that probably can relate to this. So what would happen if I let go of that belief, I have to do something? What happens if I just drop that? Because is it really true? Do I really have to do something? No, it's not really true. Do I really know what would happen? There's a lot of people out there who don't do anything and they're just fine. They're actually leading good lives somehow. There's Indian sages who stopped doing something and they ended up becoming world teachers, where people would travel literally all around the world to come sit at their feet and learn from them. And their conversations with people got transcribed into books and they were published all around the world. And these people weren't doing anything, right? So we don't really know for sure that we have to do something. And some of these guys, people were giving them money and all of their stuff was taken care of. Their kids was taken care of, their living situation, their food, everything was taken care of. And what were they doing? They were just living from their being, not living from the belief, I have to do something to fix the world and help everything and blah, 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 blah. So, do we really know that it's true, this belief, I have to do something? Personally, I can't say that I know that that belief is true. So, what would happen if I dropped that belief? I don't mean what would happen if I stopped myself from doing things. I don't mean that. I just mean what would happen if I dropped the belief I have to do something? What I found is when I drop that belief, what's left is me being present. It's almost like a tunnel opens up when I drop that belief. And that tunnel connects my life, the world, all the way deep down inside to my own being. And when that tunnel opens up, it's like a portal. I see myself acting, but not from a belief that I need to act. I'm just acting spontaneously, naturally, in the moment. I'm letting my deeper being, my heart of hearts, do what it wants to do. Instead of acting from a surface mind belief, cracking the whip, I've got to accomplish all these things, I've got to do stuff, I've got to do something. It's like I'm allowing my inner being to manifest outwardly. And that is in alignment with what I'm trying to bring to the world through this channel and through these other things that I'm doing. There's a story about the highly revered Indian sage Ramana Maharshi that someone once asked him, does God exist? And he said, yes. And the man asked, should we worship God? And Ramana said, as long as you consider yourself to be a separate individual, separate from all things, then it's beneficial to worship God. I think there's something very similar to that, to what I'm trying to say in this video. If you have not found a way to contact your inner being and operate from that inner being, then the belief, I've got to do something, might actually be helpful to some degree. It might actually get you going. And even though you're operating from this ego belief, it might cause enough disturbance in your life that eventually you come into contact with your deeper being. But if you can drop that belief, I have to do something, and let what remains move gracefully and naturally in the world, that's the true non-doing that the non-dualists, Anyway, that's the non-doing that they're talking about. We've all been given a million different beliefs like this one. I have to do something. It seems to make sense. There seems to be so much proof for it. But it's not that it's wrong. It's that it's placing a belief in between our being and the world. And we're trying to operate from this belief. But belief is not an empowered state. Being what we truly are, which is not a belief, is non-conceptual, is a living presence. It's an experience. Operating from that is incredibly powerful.